In the preschool setup, the teaching plan carries quite a lot of importance as well as significance. If teaching plans in the preschool setup is not synchronized well with the curriculum and syllabus, then the whole idea of skill building among preschool children remains unfulfilled. Therefore, understanding and implementing the right teaching plan in a preschool setup is very, very important. Now, from where the teaching plan comes? Teaching plan generally is derived from the syllabus that preschools they try to follow and implement in their school. Now, when preschools they work on a annual syllabus, and if we try to understand the learning management system or LMS in a preschool setup, then the annual syllabus is divided into different terms. Most of the preschools they take two terms, so that's why if we assume that a school follows a two term based learning management system, then the whole annual syllabus will be divided into two parts. First part will be term 1 syllabus and second part will be term 2 syllabus. So the whole syllabus we are dividing equitably so that term 1 and term 2 syllabus are defined quite well. Now once this is done, then term 1 syllabus is divided into equal number of months those are available for skill building purpose in that particular term. If we assume there are 4 teaching months in term 1, then the term 1 syllabus will be equally subdivided into 4 months. So first month we have a set of syllabus or a proportion of syllabus which will be apportioned to month 1. Similarly, a part of syllabus of term 1 will be apportioned to month 2. Similarly, third and fourth month will be allocated a portion of the syllabus which are part of term 1 syllabus. So what we are doing here is that the term 1 syllabus is subdivided into 4 equal parts so that the skill building activities or teaching learning things in the preschool can be well managed. Now, once this is done as a part of the learning management system, then each month syllabus has to be subdivided into 4 week syllabus. Now, why do we do this? As we know, the monthly syllabus is little bit of larger and we cannot give focused attention how we can take those portion of syllabus to a classroom setting in a month's time. Because of that, we subdivided the monthly syllabus into 4 parts. So each part will be allocated to each week. So a monthly syllabus, if we divide that into 4 equal parts, then each week will be having certain amount of syllabus which will be taught to the children in that particular week. Now, this is a typical learning management system. And the moment we allocate the respective amount of syllabus or skill development plans, then that itself becomes a learning management system. Now, if we have got 4 weeks of syllabus, then are we going to subdivide them again to daily teaching plans or daily syllabus? Now, this is a kind of question most of the preschools they get stuck with. They want to understand if we need to have daily syllabus, if we need to have daily teaching plans, if we need to have weekly teaching plans, what are the things they are going to do? So now to answer this question, we need to understand the daily timings those are available in a preschool setting. If we look to a typical preschool setup, then we generally find that around 4 hours of total time available to the children in the preschool timing. It could be 10 to 1, it could be 9:30 to 12:30. Some schools may be 30 minutes more, some schools may be 30 minutes less. So out of the total time availability of 4 hours, then when the children they come to the school, the prayer time, the circle time, which is the basically the initial time that teachers they spend with children to make them feel happy, that takes almost 30 minutes or zero point 0.5 hours out of these 4 hours. Now, after that, we have playtime. Playtime is the biggest chunk of time that is spent in the preschool. Otherwise, the children will not be enjoying their time in a preschool setup. So, the playtime on a typical day in a play school or preschool takes almost an hour time. Now, after that, we have the snacks time, the lunch time, and this is one of the time when children they love sharing their food with others and they look forward to them. So this also takes somewhere around 30 minutes of time or zero point 0.5 hours. So when you just remove this playtime, snacks time, prayer and circle time, then we have left with 2 hours only, which can be used for the skill building purpose. Now, this is very, very important for the preschools to remember. When we take into account 4 hours, 4.5 hours time available in a preschool, and based on that, if we try to plan the daily teaching activities or skill building activities, it will be a bigger mistake. So, first, we need to remove some of the time which the children need to spend for enjoyment. They need to use that time for play and other things which make them feel happy. So after that, whatever we left is 2 hours, and that translates to around 10 hours in a week. Now, if we have only 10 hours time available in a week for the skill building activities, now question comes, how do we manage the teaching plans in a preschool setup? Now, for that purpose, uh, the teaching plan at preschool, if we look, then we have got a weekly planning that can be, created in a preschool setup. So that weekly plan will be created, and teachers and other staff will be following that to take care of the skill building activities among children. Other thing is that daily plan. So some of these school they feel they think that daily plans will be much better. Now, in this situation, what we have 2 hours daily available for the skill building activities and 10 hours per week that is available for the skill building activities for the children. Now, where we need to give attention to? Shall we give attention to the 10 hours and build our teaching plan? Or shall we focus on these 2 hours and build our teaching plan? So this is very, very critical and crucial question for the teachers and principals to consider and take action accordingly. Now, if we help you to understand this logic little bit more deep, then we have one author called David Kadavi, and he has written a beautiful book called Mind Management, Not Time Management. So, what he opines, he says whatever timing is available to us, that doesn't make any sense if we do not bring the objective and learning outcome into practice. So, mind management, how we plan in our mind, that makes more sense while spending time with children in terms of creating those learning activities for the kids in a day to day basis. So, weekly plan focuses more actively controlling the mental state and prioritize throughout the week rather than just scheduling tasks based on the time available to us on daily basis. Now, if we consider a situation, I'll give you one example. If we have in mind in this week, I'll ensure that the children they understand phonetics, they understand each letter is having a particular sound. If they understand this, then their learning in future would be better. And in other way, for every day I'm keeping something separately and differently. So two things will be absolutely different. In first case, if the whole week I have only one plan, one goal to achieve, it will give us much more focused approach rather than the second option where we are having only time wise things to do. In that, approaching or allowing a particular objective or outcome to be achieved is very, very less. Whereas in first option, we are just focusing too much on the learning outcome. Therefore, the weekly things or weekly planning is much, much better than the daily planning. So what happens? The learning outcome is given utmost priority when we work on a weekly plan for the preschools. Then sufficient time is available to give importance or focus on a specific skill. Skill building is a complicated activities, and if we do not give specific and focused attention to a particular skill, then the skill building or intensity of getting that skill will be ineffective. And kids love to spend time on a given activity for a longer period of time so that their attention span is strengthened. If we do not allow the children to spend good amount of time in a particular activity, then it is very, very natural. We are not supporting the kids in improving their attention span into a particular activity. So, from all the aspects, it's always good to give importance on weekly plan. Another thing is that once you have weekly plan fixed or you have prior or you have predefined the weekly plan for a particular week, then as teachers you have more liberty, you have more freedom to utilize the time by bringing lot of new technique to adapt for the improvement that particular learning outcome, that particular learning objective, which is defined to be achieved in that particular week. In the other hand, if you look daily plans, you are completely touch and go kind of situation. You have to do that, you have to do this, a lot of things. In the process, the very basic learning objective or learning outcome will be completely compromised. So it's always good to have a weekly plan, and teachers will be utilizing their innovative uh, capabilities, their innovative skills, their new techniques to achieve that particular outcome by bringing lot of activities to the classroom. Now, for that purpose, if you look the weekly plan of varied syllabus, then you can find similar kind of things uh, defined for each and every week. For all the different soft skills, it provides learning objective and activities, additional activities. So it gives a complete package to the teachers to realize what is that few things to be achieved as far as language and communication skill is concerned in this particular week for this particular group of children. Similarly, if you look to the other skills like cognitive skill, it has got specific skill components and specific learning objectives pertaining to each and every skill component. So it gives teachers a complete understanding how these objectives will be fulfilled. Same for social and emotional skill. Same four components of skill components of this particular social skill, learning objectives, and activity number. They are given in a very, very uh, well designed template so that it will be easy for the teachers to read and understand so that they can plan their week accordingly. Same with environmental skill and same with our motor skills. So once these weekly plans are given for each skill wise, then teachers will be having absolutely good amount of uh, freedom, good amount of understanding how to spend that whole week among children for the skill development purpose. Now, in that, if we just look to the teaching plan, we have the weekly plan in mind. What to be done, as we know that we are dealing with five different skills in the preschool setup, namely language communication skill, we have cognitive skill, we have social and emotional skill, we have environmental skill, and finally we have motor skills. If these five skills has to be managed and we are aware what are the things to be covered under each skill in a particular week, now we have to plan it in a weekly fashion. Then in that case, we have to prepare our daily plans. Now, daily plans, as you know that we have to spend quite significant amount of time for each skill. So what we can do is that for each day, if we consider 5 working days would be there, we have kept major skill plan, meaning we are allocating more time into that. That's why we keep that major skill plan. So each skill will be provided a larger chunk of time each day so that the children will be allowed to spend maximum time in that particular skill. So by doing so, we are allowing children to improve their attention span. We are allowing the children, the slow learners, to spend time so that they can also be feeling comfortable in getting that skill. And imagine if you have three or four, five, six children who are slow learners, and if you do not allow them to spend good amount of time on a particular skill, they will lag behind as compared to other children. And once they lag behind, then it will be very, very difficult for them to manage the future skill development plans and so also in their future academic progression. So in this major plan, you have maybe keeping 65 to 70% of the available time, which is 2 hours is there. So 1.5 hours can be allocated to the major skill and rest 15% and 15% time, maybe around 30 minutes and 30 minutes can be kept for the additional skill plan or minor skill one, and second minor skill another uh, one. So in a given day, whatever objective you have, different 5 skills, you continue with that for that whole week, but you plan when what time is available on a daily basis so that you continue working on those skills so that children will be getting benefit. Now, I'll be telling you that for a typical school, how we have created the timing or the teaching plan for the school. Now, if you look Monday till Friday, every day you can say that, first half an hour you have prayer time, circle time, all these things so that you are making children absolutely adaptive to the situation. Then you start with the major skill. Different days you have different major skills. So here we have allocated 1.5 hours of time so that 1.5 hours of time, whatever is there in your weekly plan, you can nicely do everything in that 1.5 hours of time. Then once 1.5 hour is spent, then children are provided that break for the lunch time or snacks time. Then once snack time is over, then you have the playtime, story time, relaxation little bit. That will be around 15-20 minutes time. And since English and mathematics, literacy and numeracy skill are given little bit of more importance in Indian context, in that time, if you feel some of these things has to be done, you can also accommodate this time for bringing little bit of numbers as well as language development in this time. Then after that you start with the minor skill. That means around let's say 30 minutes is available for that purpose. So whatever you are just planning to start for that week to achieve as the learning outcome, you can slowly start with some play, you can start with some very basic things so that the child will get into that slowly. Then after that you give a break, so that because children, as you know, they do not want to sit in a particular place for the skill building things for more than half an hour 40 minutes. So you have to ensure that after certain time you have to give them break. So now in that break you can have dance, you can have color painting, you can have activity time. Lot of things can be planned during this break time. And finally, after this break is over, you can bring another half an hour for the second skill of the day. So likewise, all the days in the week can be nicely distributed so that you can have equitable time for each and every skill, not only for mathematics and English. Now, by doing so, you are not only improving the child's overall skill development, you are making child's experience in the preschool as a fantastic experience. Plus, teachers are getting complete freedom to utilize their innovative power, their own technique to ensure that particular learning objective and learning outcome is being addressed very, very effectively. And another thing here is that since we teachers are very much uh, concerned about the attention span and other things of a child's overall development, keeping three skills in a day will be much useful than keeping many skills and many activity things where the child will be little more confused. So I hope this kind of teaching plan and timetable management will be very, very useful for the preschools in attaining the very basic objective of skill development in a preschool setup. So thank you so much for your kind attention, and we'll be dealing with other aspects of preschool management and curriculum and syllabus management in our next session. Thank you so much.